Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. Mike has over 31 years experience in real estate, finance, and investing. He's passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
So what is my time? My time is a set of experiences that have happened over my lifetime that I hope will be of value to you. So many years ago, probably 25, 26 years ago now, I worked with a lady who had purchased a home, and she had actually had all kinds of things. Life had thrown her a bunch of curveballs. She had a couple of deaths in the family, and a lot of things happened to her that were beyond her control and outside of anything that she could have expected. She ended up going bankrupt. And one of the things that happened was she went bankrupt. When she did, she had over a 700 FICO score at the time. So she goes into bankruptcy. It's a Chapter 7. It's a complete liquidation. She gets through all of that, which takes a few months, and she gets discharged. She keeps her discharge papers and her list, her schedule of the creditors that were discharged. And so she comes to me and she says, look, this is what's happened. I really want to buy a house again. And for those of you that are in our business, you understand the real estate business, you understand this. You've seen the fire in the eyes of people and the desire that they have. It's a burning desire. Once they own a home and something happens and they have to sell it, or they lose it to foreclosure, they lose it to short sale, whatever, they are a lot of them are super motivated to get back in and buy a house. They want to own a house again. They don't want to rent anymore. And so one of the things that we did was I sat down with her and I said, okay, here's what we need to do. We need to get your credit pulled, which we did. And we identified that there were a number of accounts that she had that were actually showing, that were included in the bankruptcy, that were actually showing as charge-offs. They were showing as collection accounts. Here's the deal with FICO scores, and I shared this with her too. FICO scores are like a hot air balloon. So if you can imagine a gondola sitting on the ground, and then right above it is a flame area that's fed by gas, right? And you pull that, and there's a flame that shoots up into the air, that heats up the air in the hot air balloon, which actually gives it buoyancy. It actually makes it rise, okay? And there are things that are hanging around that gondola. They're called sandbags or weights. Those sandbags or weights are there to keep the gondola down, to keep it on the ground, even though they're applying hot air and they're blowing that flame, right? So to give it some stability. So here's the deal. If you can imagine a FICO score, if you pay your accounts on time, your FICO score wants to rise just like a hot air balloon rises. If you have open collections or charge-offs or anything like that where it shows that you owe money, it actually is like another weight on that gondola that drags your credit score, keeps it from going this way, keeps it from going up like a hot air balloon, and actually can make it go down. And so what we did was we went in and we identified what accounts she had that were on that schedule of creditors that had been discharged through the Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And we had her take a copy of that, take a copy of her credit report, highlight in the same color highlighter the creditor, the account that was on the schedule, and the account and the creditor that was on the credit report. Then she took those and with a cover letter and sent them out to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And what happened was she sent it out. They had to then go to work according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. They then had to go to work. Oh, by the way, real quick, you want to send that certified mail receipt requested. Send that package to each one of those 3 credit bureaus, certified mail receipt requested. So they have to sign for it, and you receive that signature showing that they received it and they signed for it, and that starts the clock ticking, if that makes sense, on the deadline that they have to abide by in terms of verifying the information that you've sent them. So they went to work verifying the information. They changed all of those accounts back to account included in bankruptcy, which stopped the bleeding, got rid of those sandbags, and her credit score went like this. Now, she did go get a car loan after the bankruptcy at a higher interest rate. She did go get 3 credit cards, which we recommend. And those credit cards were higher interest rate credit cards. But here's the thing. She paid higher fees, but she didn't pay any interest because she would charge on one month and pay it off. Charge on the second one a second month, pay it off. Charge on the third one a third month, pay it off. go back to that same schedule again. So the fourth month, it was the first one, second one, third one, right? And that was basically the first 6 months. What happened was within a year of having her bankruptcy discharged for a Chapter 7, she actually had a FICO score that was in the 700 range. Now it's just over 700, it's like 702 or 703, something like that. But she broke that 700 barrier. And within just a few months, she was actually higher than that. So here's what I want you to understand. No matter what life throws at you, you can in fact get back to where you have good credit again. It is possible. You just have to basically follow the basics. You have to follow the rules. And one of the rules is you need to understand that creditors don't work, or credit bureaus, don't work for you. They work for creditors. And so they're going to report whatever the creditor tells them to report. What you have as a remedy, according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, is you can then challenge that information that's on there, and you can have it updated if you can prove to those credit bureaus that it's in fact in error and it needs to be updated. They'll update it, and it will stop the bleeding on your FICO score and allow your FICO score to go up like that hot air balloon. This was another episode of the Mike Litton Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. This was my time. I'll see you on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed another episode of the Mike Litton Experience. If you did, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about our program, and wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating. It helps us to connect with quality people just like you.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at Litton Realty. Want to meet with Mike? Check out calendly.com/Rio760.